So in this next section, I'm going to walk you guys through what to do if a customer doesn't buy a homemaker, right? Because we know that statistically, when you close on the homemaker, the average new person will have 2 out of 10 that purchase that. Cool. We know that as you get more experience, you might have 3 or 4 out of 10 that purchase that. And it's just on your confidence with numbers. I was not confident in big numbers at first, so I didn't sell any homemakers. They called me starter set queen. I sold a lot of starter sets and galleys. And it was just because I didn't understand like what things cost, you know, and I didn't understand like that things in homes cost thousands, not hundreds, right? And when my manager taught me, he sat me down and showed me, it definitely, I gained a lot of confidence in that. And then I started actually selling like a complete set every week, multiple homemakers and a bunch of other stuff, you know, and that led to $5,000 to $7,000 plus performance weeks, week in, week out during the summertime. So I'm going to show you guys though, something that, this is something I did get good at, but I'll show you where I messed up so you don't mess it up either. Okay. And I'm going to start by just reviewing what you guys already looked at earlier today in terms of the closing, right? And I'm just going to pick up on when you're asking for the order. So there's 3 parts to the close. The first part is where you're talking about the competition, right? What else is out there? I've got Wusthof and Schoon. You talk about them. You talk about how we compare to them. That's the first part. And by the way, read from there and build up. I'm like, hey, Wustof's the best if you're going to get in stores, set it up. I'm like, here's how we compare. Because the higher you build them up, when you compare, the higher you're building us up. Okay. I didn't get that at first. I was kind of like trying to like put them to here only. I'm like, we're better. But I didn't realize that process that was happening psychologically. Okay. The second part of the close is actually presenting the price, right? Letting them know how much it is. And as you guys covered as we talked about before, you want to write stuff down. So either you're having them, so if you're on a phone demo, this is what this sounds like, okay? So if I'm on a phone, Carissa, and I'm not on Zoom with you, then here, right on the page prior, I said, so at twice the price, you're talking over $4,000 for a basic set of Cutco. Auntie, can you write down 4,000 for me on a piece of paper? Okay, let me know when you're ready. Just write down 4,000. So yeah, it would be like buying a really nice refrigerator or home appliance or like a really nice set of tools. Cool. And now we keep going to the next part here. So as I said earlier, our Homemaker Plus 8 is our most popular set. It's perfect for families that cook 2 to 4 times a week. It has the 10 basic tools I explained earlier, the 8 table knives, the wood block, the sharpener for straight edges. We also have the Homemaker without the table knives in the block because some people like to have a different color, or they like the steak knives instead, or the stainless, okay? So if you were considering a set of Cutco, would you prefer the set with the matching table knives? So, and you guys saw there, I tweaked it a little bit, but that's what I always say. I'm like, great. Well, the great thing is that it doesn't cost $4,000. Carissa, could you do me a favor and cross out 4,000 on your paper? Okay, and then right underneath that, can you go ahead and write down 3,435? Can you write that right underneath the 4,000?
Yep.
Awesome. Can you let me know you good to go? Okay, so that price, by the way, is the Wusthof that I told you about. So it's actually, it doesn't even cost as much as the Wusthof. So go ahead and cross that out.
Okay.
All right, awesome. And underneath that, Auntie put 1326. 1326.
Okay.
Okay, so that is the Homemaker Plus 8 is only 1326 paid in full, which includes shipping. But most of our customers take advantage of our 5-pay interest-free easy pay option, which is only $289 and includes tax. Cool. So do me a favor, and you can put a line through 1326. I mean, again, you could pay for it in full, but most people don't. I mean, most people didn't, put aside a couple grand waiting for the knife girl to call, right? So go ahead and put an arrow to the side of it and write down 289 and go ahead and circle that. All right. So put a little arrow to the side and put 289 and go ahead and circle that.
Okay.
All righty. And so that's what the first, I call it a deposit, just so you guys know. I'm like, so that's what the deposit would be to get the products and try them out for 3 weeks. Cool. So you'll have it for 3 weeks. Try it out, see how you like it. And Auntie Carissa, worst case, send it back. You had free Costco. And I highly doubt that's going to happen. Everybody loves this stuff. Okay. So you can just use the easy pay, and it's the same amount each month, or, pay it off. But if you can write this down, Auntie, put down $72 a week in the budget. So just put $72 a week in budget. And put down $36 each right underneath that. All right. And if you're on Zoom, you could show them, be like how mine looks right here. All right. But even though I write it, I like them to write it because I want them to look at it when I ask for the order. Okay. So that's really important. So I'm like, okay, cool. So perfect. So Auntie, we have something called a buy now bonus. And it's a bonus, like it's literally what it sounds like. It's a reason to buy now. And so if you guys wanted to get it today as a thank you, I can actually give you the entire kitchen tool set, the entertainer pack with the gadgets, or a pair of super shears for free. So which of those gifts would you prefer? I like this one. Yeah, they're so great. Well, Auntie Carissa, I wouldn't be doing my job if I didn't ask you, would you like to try out the homemaker set today and get your free gifts? All right, or I say your free super shears, and then you do what? So Auntie, I wouldn't be doing my job if I didn't ask you, and don't say anything, Carissa, right? Don't reply right away, because most don't. So I wouldn't be doing my job if I didn't ask you, would you like to try out the homemaker set and get your free scissors? And guys, this is how it was for me when I first started, and I was like, oh crap, this is so awkward. This is so weird. What do I do, right? And I didn't know what to do, and I was like a little bit nervous. So I probably could have sold homemakers, by the way, because what was happening was, some people gave a knee jerk, right? That's natural. They give that knee jerk reaction right away. But others stayed quiet. I had customers that stayed quiet, and I was sitting there like, oh my God, this is so awkward. Like, what do I say? What do I do? But I didn't realize that them being quiet is a good thing. Cool. So if not, they're like, oh, absolutely not, which by the way is a knee jerk, and half of those end up buying anyway. But even the ones that are quiet, that means that they're actually considering it. Cool. So they're sitting there going, oh my gosh, I wasn't planning on buying, but man, this stuff Kelly showed me is really good. Am I going to need it? Am I going to use it? Am I going to, and they're just kind of going through consumer buying questions, or they're sitting there thinking, can we do it right now? Cool. That's what they're sitting there thinking, like, can I do it right now? Why? Because again, this wasn't in the budget, right? And so that is why I like to have this written down, and I like to, so that they can be staring at this, right? And they can go, okay, $289, $72. And I actually, when I write it and I tell them to write down on their sheet, I'm like, hey, put down next to the $289 that it's 100% refundable. All right. So typically, if you guys see me do a demo, this is what you would see me write. Okay. Is you would see me write 100% refundable, 3 weeks, try it out. That way they can look at that. All right. And I'll do it here one more time. All right. And then I'm going to show you guys, if they don't get, how to drop down through there. Okay. And that process. But I just wanted to recap this because this is really important. So again, on the bottom of page 8, when you told them, so Auntie, most people won't agree, Costco's at least twice as good. When something offers twice good, twice the quality, twice the value, what do you expect in price? And we say, yeah, twice the price. So Auntie, at twice the price, you're looking at $4,000, all right, for a basic set of Costco. Can you please write that down on a sheet of paper for me? Put down 4,000. Just like I put here. Okay, awesome. So that would be like if you're buying a really nice refrigerator or a really nice home appliance or a really nice set of tools, right? And then we go to the next part of our manual, right? So we're like, as I said earlier, the Homemaker Plus 8 is our most popular set. It's perfect for families that cook 2 to 4 times a week. Has the 10 basic tools I explained earlier, the 8 table knives, the wood block, and the sharpener for the straight edges. We also have the Homemaker without the matching table knives because some people like a different color or the stainless or the steak knives. Cool. So if you were considering a set of Cutco, would you prefer the set with the matching table knives? and they'll say yes, or, ooh, maybe I want steak knives, maybe I want stainless. But most people are like, oh yeah, the matching table knives. I'm like, great. I'm like, the great thing is that it doesn't cost $4,000. Okay. So Auntie, do me a favor and go ahead and cross out the $4,000. All right. Although, by the way, it would cost that if it was sold in stores. All right. And then do me a favor and write underneath that. All right, go ahead and jot down 3,435. All right, 3,435. And Auntie, that's the retail for the Woo stuff. Cool. And so it actually doesn't even cost as much as that. So if you can do me a favor, just go ahead and cross that out as well. All right. And Auntie, right underneath that, go ahead and put 1326. All right, 1326. All right, and that is the homemaker plus 8 is 1326 paid in full, and that includes shipping. And Auntie Carissa, you could pay for it all today, but most customers take advantage of our 5-month interest-free easy pay option. All right, which is actually only $289. So do me a favor and you can just put a line through 1326. Again, you could pay for it all today, but most people don't. And just put a little arrow to the side of that, and then put 289 and circle that. And I'll explain that in a second, but go ahead and put 289 and circle that. Okay. And that would be the 5-pay easy pay, would be that same amount each month. Cool. For the next 4 months. And so just so you know, Auntie, most people, what they'll do is put that 289 down as a deposit so they can just try it out. Okay. And it's 100% refundable deposit. So if you want to write that down, just so you know, it's risk-free. So you have 3 weeks. All right. 15 business days. So 3 weeks to try it out and just see how you like it. Okay. So that's what that would come out to. And then something that's not in your manual that I always like to break down per person, because that will help you close more. You're going to see that they do that with the galley and the starters, but do it with the homemaker too, because you will sell more homemakers. So I'm like, Auntie, underneath the 289, do me a favor and write down $72 a week in the budget. And then underneath that, put $36 each. Cool. So I just like all my customers to know that what they'd want to put aside, since again, this was totally unexpected. Cool. So again, guys, you're also prefacing the fact that you know this was unexpected. So I'm like, yeah, since this was obviously unexpected. I'm like, so Auntie, Uncle, we have a buy now bonus, where if you buy now, I can actually give you the entire kitchen tool set, the entertainer pack with those 4 popular gadgets, or a pair of the super shears for free, which are like our most popular thing. Which one of those gifts do you like the best? All right. And again, I ask that just out of habit. That's not in your manual to ask which one they like, but I always do. And then I'm like, awesome. Well, Auntie, I wouldn't be doing my job if I didn't ask you, would you like to try out the homemaker set today and get your free gifts? And just stay quiet. Okay. And so again, if they're quiet like Carissa does, which most people considering are, okay, by the way, if they say yes right away, that's the easiest upsell. Do not just sell a homemaker. If they say like, yeah, all right, that's going to easily be something larger. Those who were here this morning, you heard me talk about that, but that's like a larger set sale. Turn homemakers into signatures and complete sets super easy by hooking them up with a bunch of free stuff. Or maybe they have multiple homes. They'll do a buy 3, get 1 free, or they'll just add on like a flatware chest. Maybe they'll add cookware and then they'll get accessories free. But just know if they say yes right away, like that sale is going to be a lot bigger. But most people are like, I don't know, or they're just sitting there looking. And when they're going through that process of like, can we do this right now? Or do we need, or whatever, I want them staring at this. Cool. Because I've had people literally go, 36, I can do that. Honey, what do you think? And they're like, that sounds reasonable. I can do that. We can put that aside, and even like middle class, lower income, like not in the nicest areas, people in duplexes, people in apartments. And they did this and they bought homemakers and they were like, we can do that. We can put that aside, and the fact is, guys, anyone that works full time can afford $36 a week. Cool. Like, would you guys agree that like if you work full time, you can afford $36 a week. People spend that on Starbucks habits. People spend that on cigarettes. People spend that at Whataburger. We know that that's something that if they work full time. Now, maybe they have a lot of other things going on right now. no problem. We're going to drop down and find what's best for them. Everyone got that? So if they like the homemaker, guys, and they're kind of like, oh, I don't know, just make sure to call us. You want to call in. And there's 3 different ways that you're going to call in. And so I want to share this with you guys real quick. All right. So 3 different ways that you're going to call in. So the first way is that when you guys show them the homemaker, and let me go ahead and show you all this. All right. You guys, please screenshot this. All right. But the first way you're going to call in. So right here, when you said, hey, Kathy, or you asked, Auntie, does she want to buy? And she said, yes, Carissa, definitely. We love that set. Right. And that's actually the set your parents have had for a long time. Right. So you're like, great. Actually, let me call my manager to see what bundles or package deals we have available, because of Memorial. And you guys need to bring up like Memorial Day weekend, guys. There are so many sales happening. Cool. So like if they bought a homemaker and they add the 12-piece flatware chest, first of all, the chest is discounted $600. And guys, they're going to get an additional $500 of whatever they want for Memorial Day weekend. Like, how sick is that? If they buy the complete set, like the complete set right now has $600 of whatever they want for free because of Memorial Day specials, and you can hook them up with even more. And we'll talk about orders and giving stuff for free. You don't want to give away the world for free because it comes from your points, but you want to use it strategically. Cool. Free stuff is great to help you close a sale that might not happen. And free stuff is also great to make the sale bigger, okay? Because I remember Mike Arrieta, one of my guys, like, I'm not giving anything for free since it comes from my points, and I said, well, what do you prefer? 800, let's say it's an $800 sale with nothing free, right? 800. Or do you prefer to sell 1,600 with 400 free and your net sales 1,200? You prefer 1,200 or 800? Because I prefer 1,200. So I did get $400 away for free, but I did it strategically to have a bigger sale, and offered them some free stuff. So every time you guys call us, you don't need to worry. You might be like, oh my God, how do I do this? You're not going to do this is the answer. Okay. This weekend, we're going to do it for you. Everyone got that? We're going to do it for you. So you're going to call Claudia or Mary Lou or myself or whoever you're talking to. And you're like, hey, my manager or my customer's definitely getting this, wanted to see what bundles or packages were available for Memorial Day weekend. And I'll say, awesome. But just make sure that you say, when you call us, hey, my customer's definitely getting a homemaker, wanted to see, right? So do you guys see that? So to the customer, you're going to say, hey, let me call my manager to see what bundles or package deals we have available for Memorial Day weekend. And then when you call us, you're going to say, hey, Kathy, or hey, Mary Lou, or hey, whoever, my customer's definitely getting the homemaker. And I just wanted to see what bundles or package deals were available for like Memorial Day. And so we'll let you know. Cool. So that's how it's going to work this weekend. So that's the first thing. The second is if they are considering, okay, if they are considering, that means they have not said yes. Okay, Henry, they have not said yes. So they might not buy. So we know when you call us, like, let's say you're with your parents, right? Or you're with your aunt, because you guys can go to your neighbors' houses and do it live. You don't have to do it on the phone. You can take your laptop over there and do it, but most people just do it on the phone. But let's just say you're with someone, right? This is kind of code word for us, because you're not going to call me, Kelly, when you're with your mom and dad and be like, please help me close my sale. I don't know if they're going to buy. Like, you're not going to say that. Okay. Or if you're with your grandma and you're like, oh, can you please help me close my sale? You're not going to do that. But when you call us and you say to me, my customer is considering, do you guys see that? My customer is considering. I know what that means. I know that you need help closing the sale. Cool? Because they might not buy. Like, they're still on the fence. So can I get a thumbs up if you guys are with me? All right. So again, considering, when you guys call, hey, my customer, Diego, you call Claudia and say, my customer is definitely getting blank. What does that tell her? They said yes. Cool. So you're essentially asking her, please supersize my order. All right. That's what you're essentially asking. The second thing is, if you call Claudia and say, my customer is considering this, she knows that that means, please help me close my sale, because they might not buy. Cool. And then the third way that you're going to call in is you're going to call to verify your appointment. So let's just say you have, they don't want to buy today. All right. They don't want to buy. You're like, hey, no problem. So you're going to say, hey, let me call my managers to verify my appointment. All right. And make sure you have their favorite items written down that when you guys went through the presentation stood out. You should always be paying attention to that. Okay. And if not, you can ask, but you should always be paying attention. So here, You're going to say, hey, I'm calling to verify. So Miss Kathy or Miss Claudia, I was just calling to verify my appointment. We know that that was a no sale. All right. Now, here's what I'm going to say. Even your no sales can turn into sales. I cannot tell you guys how, like, we have a, like, give us a shot. Cool. It's 50-50. They might not, but they might. If they liked it, give us a shot. I remember Taylor Ricard, he called me, and he just got inducted into the Cutco Hall of Fame, and just so cool, you know, to see the growth that this kid has had. But he started with me like a decade ago, summer of 2011, with Mary Lou. And I remember him calling in. His first sale, by the way, was a no sale. So he called me with a no sale, and he said, "Hey, Kathy, I'm just calling to verify my appointment." I said, "Awesome, Taylor. How'd your customer like it?" He's like, "They loved it," and whatever. I said, "Do they own Cutco?" He said, "No, they don't." I was like, "Oh my gosh, they loved it and they don't own Cutco?" I'm like, "Dude, you got to write this down." I said, "Let me at least give you something to show them when you finish your recommendations, just to see if they like it." All right. And this is a key phrase you guys want to write down. Write this down. Just so you know. Please write that phrase down. All right. Please write that phrase down. Just so you know. All right. And this phrase is super important, and it's how you give deals, right? Because it's no pressure. We just want to make sure your customers always know their options. Everyone got that? So again, no pressure. We just want to make sure your customers know their options. So here, so I told him, I said, "Hey, this is what you're going to do." I said, "Well, first of all, what 4 or 5 pieces did they like the most?" He's like, "Oh, they loved everything." I said, "I get it. But if they had to pick 4 or 5, if Cutco was free falling from the sky, you know, like what 4 or 5 would they want most?" And he was like, "Oh, they want the scissors, the spatula, the chef knife, the trimmer, you know, and the parent." I said, "Cool." I said, "Do me a favor, write these 2 things down. We're always going to just give you something to show the customer. Because guys, here's what we know. If the price is right or the deal's good enough, many times if a customer wanted it and they're like, okay, yeah, you know what, let's just do it." Right. So anyway, so I tell him, he tells me the stuff. I told him a package deal. I said, "There's a bundle. It has the scissors, it has the peeler, it has the air knife, it has the trimmer, it has a spatula, it has a large carver, it has a chef knife, it has a tray, it has a storage option, it has a sharpener." And I said, "And that is normally over $750. By the way, the value of all that, and they're getting it for like $430. I said, "All they would put down today is $90. Cool." I said, "Write that down." I said, "The other option is that you can do these 3 tools or 3 or 4 tools and then give them this one for free. And their deposit today would be $72. We can do it on 3 payments." Cool. I said, "So show them that." I said, "But finish what you're doing and then just say, 'Hey, just so you know, my manager wanted me to show you this. When I called to verify, she told me there's a bundle that has these ones you liked, and it has this and this and this and this. And it's normally $750 value, and it's actually on sale for $430. And so your deposit would come out to about $90 if you wanted to try that out on the 5-pay easy pay. Or if you wanted to just get a couple pieces of the ones you liked, you could do this buy 3, get 1 free. We could put it, you could put down a deposit of $72, and that would be a 3-pay option. You know, would either of those interest you, or did you want to still wait?" And the lady was like, "Oh yeah, let's do that." And she did the bigger bundle. It was the $750 for $430. She put down $90. That's all she had to put down today was the $90 deposit. And she was so excited. And he called me back. He's like, "She wants to do that bundle you told me about. That's like $430. I was like, "Okay, awesome." I was like, "I'll help you write it up." And that was his first sale. He had a $400 sale on his first no sale. So you just never know. And sometimes people will tell you, "I can't do anything right now." So let me tell you a quick story fast, and then I'll show you the drop down. Cal Pachetto. So Cal Pachetto is doing his demo. He calls me after the homemaker. I gave him excuse me. He calls me at the all night. So he had gone from the homemaker to the galley, which I'm going to show you now, to the starter sets. And he called me, and he called in and he said, "Hey, Kathy, my customer is considering well, actually, they're definitely want to get it. They want the all knife set. They were wondering if we could do a barbecue set for free." And I was like, "Well, not really. It's a little over the points." I said, "But if they added like a fishing knife to their order, we could do the barbecue set for free with it. With that, they're buying enough to get the barbecue set for free." I said, "But it sounds like they cook a good amount. At least barbecue." He's like, "Oh yeah, they love to cook." I said, "Oh, okay." I said, "Did they already own Cutco?" Or he's like, "No." I said, did they not like the homemaker?" And he's like, "Oh no, they loved it. They just can't because this is happening and the kids are going to." And he starts telling me this whole sob story. Let me tell you this right now. I promise you, I'm not trying to be mean. I don't care. Like the sob stories. You don't need to tell me the whole story. I just want to help the customer out. So I say that with like, as nice as I can say it. Like, I don't care about their whole sob story. I just want to help them. All right. So you can just, so he told me, he's like, oh, they have this and that. I go, hey, Kyle, no worries. You don't need to tell me the whole story. Did they like it? He's like, they did. I said, then just show them this when you wrap up. I go, so let them know they can do the all night, as long as they spend this much more, they can do the barbecue set free. Cool. But just write this down for me. And he's like, okay. And by the way, he was at the customer's house. I didn't know this. So when he was on the phone, like they were hearing him, right? So he's like, so I said, there's two options, by the way, just show it to them. Just say, hey, just so you know, my manager wanted me to show you this deal just in case you liked it. And then if they say no, then be like, all right, with the all night, you can do this and we can do the barbecue set. Cool. So I said, write this down. I said, Kyle, let them know that they can do one of two options. They can do something called a trade-in. Okay. And a trade-in is kind of like when you trade in a car at a dealership, you get credit for it. They can actually donate or trade in some of their old stuff. And right now, because of COVID and stuff, it's kind of on an honor system. We're just asking if they can please donate to charity or to a local church, like just to help somebody else, right? And if they do that, our company is super big on contribution, by the way. But if they do that, we can actually do with the homemaker either one of two options. Ready? Write this down. He's like, all right. I said they can do a $180 discount on the homemaker. Cool. Nothing for free. The deposit would be, and I told them the price was like $190 or something. I said, so they have that option. Or I go, check this out. They could put down the deposit of the $289 and you could give them $375 of whatever they want for free. And he goes, so let me get this straight. If they donate some of their old stuff, they can either do a $180 discount. I was like, yep. He's like, nothing free. I was like, yep. He's like, or they can do the regular price and they can get $375 of whatever they want. I was like, you got it. And he's like, all right, awesome. He's like, I'll call you. I said, so call me back. I go, if they don't do that, do the all night, add the whatever, give them the barbecue. He's like, cool. So we hung up. He calls me back, like, I don't know, probably 20 minutes later, right? And he's like cussing on the phone. He's like, what the F? Like cussing up. He's like, that was effing bullshit. And I was like, what? I said, you lose a sale? He's like, no, they bought a homemaker. I was like, why are you so mad? And he's like, Kathy, you don't understand. Like the whole beginning when I like asked them if they want to buy the homemaker, like, we can't. They talked to me for like 20 minutes about like how they had to pay the kids college and this one was moving and they had to do this. And they were like just so tied up right now. And like, so I was like, oh no, no worries. And so I just dropped down. And then when we got to the all night, they're like, oh, we like that one. And they were like excited about buying that. And then he goes, remember when I called you? He goes, I hung up and they looked at me and they go, did your manager just say that we could trade in our old stuff and we could get $375 of whatever we want? And he was like, oh yeah, I was just going to tell you that. They're like, let's do that. like that. And they pay the regular price. But the fact is that it's like, there's some things like it's worth it, right? But it's like when it's a really good deal, you're like, oh, I have to get it, And they were like, and that's what that did for them. When they saw that, they were like, shit. All right, let's do it. We want it. Let's do it. Let's just do it, right? And they went and get it. And guys, for someone who works full time, again, $289 is not going to break the bank if you have a husband and wife that work full time. Cool, because it's $72 a week is all they're putting aside. It's $36 each. Many of them give that to their kids to go out for gas, whatever. So like, just don't forget that, that it's very different. So anyway, if they don't want to do the homemaker, then we're going to draw. They're like, no, I don't want all that, or I don't need all that right now, or whatever. So again, if they like it, call us just to see what deals, because there are some great deals for Memorial Day weekend. And if not, no worries. We're going to drop down to the galley. Cool. The galley is a super nice set. And you guys can follow along on my Vector demo. I'm going to go ahead and pull it up here. But this right here, so we just go to dropping down. So again, if your customer loves the homemaker but is on the edge, you're going to call us, just like I showed you how to call. And then if not, we're going to go to the galley. All right. So next is our galley set. It's perfect starter set. It'll take care of all your needs. All right. And so you explain it to them. You're like, hey, Miss or Auntie Sue, as you can see, it has a paring knife for the air, the trimmer for the small stuff, the spatula for sandwiches, a meat knife, a serving piece, a veggie chopper, and a bread knife. And it still comes with 6 table knives. Cool. So it's a few less knives for a lot less money. Instead of paying the $13.26 for the homemaker set, Auntie Carissa, write this underneath that. Go ahead and write down underneath that, put 209. All right. So that would be your deposit. So it's $957 if you want to put the price, and then just put an arrow over and put 209 and go ahead and circle that. 209, go ahead and circle that, because that's what you would be putting down today. Cool. And so that's the, you know, 5 months interest free, but again, you get to try it out for 3 weeks and see how you like it. Okay. So Auntie, if you want to make a note next to that, that's only $52 a week. All right, in the budget, and that comes out to $26 each. So go ahead and write down $26 each. All right. And if you're doing it on here with them, then you can just go ahead and write that down. So I'm like, so Auntie, go ahead. The galley plus 6 with the 6 table knives is $657. Okay. Again, you don't have to pay for it all now. You can if you want, but most people don't. What most people do is, you know, do the easy pay 5 pay option. And so what you would put down to try that out and see how you like it is 209. All right. So that's what you would put for that one. And that would come out. So go ahead and circle that. You know, I always like to tell them to do that. And so then if you want to make a note, that would be $52 a week in the budget. All right. Which comes out to $26 each. Cool. So that's what that looks like. So do you like that one better? Or would you want to look at other options? And they're like, oh yeah, I like that one, you know? And I'm like, did you like that one better? Or did you want to look at it without the table knives? That's normally what I ask. So I'm like, did you like that one better? Or did you want to look at the price without the table knives? And they're like, no, I like that. And if they want without table knives, then you can go ahead and quote them for without table knives. All right. And you guys will have the prices for all of that. I'm going to show you guys that. So basic galley, and it's in your manual, but basic galley, I'm like, they say, oh, without table knives. I'm like, so without the table knives, if you just wanted to start with the prep knives, it's $789. So again, Auntie, you know, you don't have to pay the whole $789 right now. The deposit, if you wanted to try that one out, comes out to $162. Cool. So if you want to write that down, Auntie, $162. All right. Let me know when you got that. And go ahead and circle that, Auntie. And then again, same as before, if you want to, if you can go ahead and do me a favor, and I lost my whiteboard. Where'd it go? All right, here we go. So if you want to make a note there, it's $40 a week. All right, in the budget, which would come out to $20 each. Cool. So you might have to give up a little Starbucks, you know, but this is what it works out to. They're like, oh yeah, right. I'm not giving up my Starbucks. I'm like, okay. Like, so, and again, if you guys did that today, I could still give you the scissors or the kitchen tools or the entertainer pack with this one as well. So would you guys want to go ahead and do that one? And they're like, yeah, let's do that. And then done. And so I sold a lot of galleys. So this one's, did you guys see how simple that is? By the way, it's like $20 each or $26 each to do a galley set. And that is a really nice set. They have all the prep tools, and then they can do with the 8 table knives or with the 6 table knives or without. All right. So that's a really nice one. Now let's say they're like, oh, honey. So here's what's going to happen right here. They're either going to say, yes, let's do that. Or they're going to say, can I just buy pieces? Sometimes they might have already asked that on the homemaker. Cool. But if they haven't asked that yet, you will hear that by now. They will say, Taylor, can we buy pieces? Can we just buy some pieces? All right. And so you don't want to be like, no, because you're lying. You don't want to just be like, yeah, because then you're ruining your set sale. You want to answer this just like it shows in your manual. Okay. So if you guys are following along, we're right here. All right. So if they say, can I buy pieces? You say, of course, Auntie. However, our sets are discounted. They're safer and you get free stuff. If you don't mind, I'll show you our sets. And if none of them appeal to you, we can pick out whatever pieces you want. Is that cool? What do you think they all say? Yeah, sure, honey. All right. Well, most. I mean, I had a friend on who was like, honey, I just got to go. I just want to get a couple of things. I was like, okay. And so you might have that one once in a while, but that's not normal. Most of them are like, oh yeah, sure, honey, show me. I'm like, awesome. Let me show you them real quick. I'm going to show you them all to you really quick, and then we'll go from there. All right. So the next two slideshows are actually the starter sets. These are great for building up over time and for gifts for family and friends. So these are used a lot for weddings, birthdays. If you have a camper, maybe you have a second home that you don't frequent much or an Airbnb. And so people put these in there. But let me show you those. All right. So the first one is the Essentials +5, all right? And again, they're going to be looking at, and I wanna make sure we have their yourcutcodemo.com, all right? So they are looking at this while you're talking about it. Does someone have, I'd like for someone to read out loud that has their manual open while I have this picture up. Carissa, Kaylee, Taylor, anyone willing to read here? Like from your manual, like to read here, to read the sets. Go ahead and explain this. Anybody have that pulled up already?
I can. Just tell me, what page are we on?
So we are on page 11.
Okay.
Page 11. So if you just keep scrolling down to there. All right. And so here, you guys have been on the slideshow with the customers, sorry, on set options. So we just, we did the closing with them. Then we talked about the homemaker, right? After the homemaker, if they said yes right away, you definitely always want to show them the signature and the complete. Cool. And you're like, hey, we have 2 larger sets. And so it tells you to do that. If they say, they said no to the homemaker, I'm like, you can go ahead and skip these next 2. These are 2 of our larger family sets for people that love to cook, love to entertain. So let me show you our galley. That's the one that we just did, right? So it's a few less knives for a lot less money. It has the air knife, the small utility, the sandwich maker, turning fork, the large utility, the chopping knife, and the bread knife. And it comes with 6 table knives. All right, so it still has the 6 table knives. And we went through that. And so let's say they're like, oh, honey, can I just buy pieces? Then we're like, of course, you can definitely pick out your favorite ones and make your own. But we do, the sets are discounted. Is it cool if I just show you those real quick? You might see something you like. So you go through that. And then now we're like, all right, so let me show you our starter. So Chris, are you ready to go?
Yep.
All right, so let's do it.
So these next 2 slides show the starter sets. These are great for building up over time and giving as gifts for family and friends. So the first set is the Essentials +5. This one comes with just the very basics: your paring knife, spatula spreader, turning fork, petite carver, and chef knife. And then the next one is the Studio +4. This is our smallest block set, but still comes with 4 amazing pieces: the paring knife, trimmer, the petite carver, and the spatula spreader. So you can go ahead and go to the next slide.
Mm-hmm.
This is the Space Saver. This set comes with 5 pieces: the chef knife, petite carver, trimmer, and 2 different sized paring knives. And it comes in a unique block that can lean on the counter or be hung on a wall. Then we have all the knife and kitchenette trays. These tray sets are great for people who want to keep their knives stored in a drawer. The all knife comes with a paring knife, trimmer, chef knife, carving knife, and spatula spreader. The kitchenette comes with the bread knife, turning fork, petite carver, paring knife, and trimmer. The Gourmet Set. This set has 5 of our specialty knives, like a cleaver, santoku knife, and a hearty slicer. And it also comes with a wide blade vegetable knife and a boning knife. This set is great for customers who want to upgrade their current Cutco set and put this block right next to their current block. So out of these starter sets, which combination do you like best?
I think I like the one on the slide before, the Essentials. Yeah, I like that one.
Cool. I don't know the price of the sets.
Okay. And by the way, I want to remind you guys to make sure you have all the prices when you guys are in your manual. So let me go back in here. But when you guys are in the regular manual, all right, and you were going through everything and you get to, let me scroll, we get to doing the prices. Once you do the summary, let me see here, we do the summary on page 8. We told them over $4,000 for a set of Cutco. And then we're going to go to the next slide. Click page 9. That's going to actually show you all the prices. It's going to fill in all the prices for you. So when you click page 9, it'll take you somewhere else. And this actually has all the prices filled in. Do you guys see that? So make sure you click page 9. So then that has that. So now on what you just said, so great job with that. So now you're going to say, so out of all these starter sets, which combination do you like the best? And guys, you're only going to quote the price for the one they liked. Cool. So you're like, okay, awesome. So Auntie, go ahead and write this down. The one you like, the Essentials Plus 5, it's 164. Go ahead and circle it. That's the deposit. Cool. The full price is $747, but you would put the 164. And so that is $41 a week, all right, which is $20 each. So this one with the 5 table knives is basically the same as the basic essentials without the table knives. Cool. And did you want that with the table knives or without? Oh, you want it with? Okay, cool. So that's the price. All right. Or she'll say, oh, without. I'm like, oh, okay, without. Go ahead and write down, Auntie, the deposit is $122. Cool. That would be the easy pay each month. And then make a note next to that, that's $30 a week, which would be $15 each. All right. And then I asked them, I go, would you guys feel comfortable putting aside $15 each aside in the budget? Right. And that was, and again, I had more middle and lower class people. You might have different clients, but it's still good to ask and break it down small, because when you break it down small, you're going to have a lot bigger orders, you know, because they're focused on a smaller number. And most people are just thinking about, what am I comfortable spending today? You know, so for those of you who have upper income clients, you don't want to use the word payments necessarily, because for wealthier clients, that's almost a little offensive, because they're like, I worked my whole life, so I don't have to do payments, you know, like, so I don't ever like to call it payments. That's why I call it deposit. I say, Miss Susie, most people just put the deposit so they can try it out and see how they like it, you know, and then you can call and pay it off, or you can keep the easy pay. It's interest free. And they're like, awesome, you know, and so you're going to close bigger orders when you guys are using that deposit. Everyone good so far? All right. So that's usually where I close. I mean, I sold the hell out of, I told you guys my nickname was Starter Set Queen. I sold those like crazy, because I'm like, I can afford $15, $20 a week. Of course they can. So like I sold the heck out of those. And I mean, if you even look at the basic studio, guys, the basic studio is literally $25 a week is what they would put aside. So is the kitchenette, which means it's $12 each. Guys, that's a Chipotle meal. Cool. Cheaper than a Chipotle meal. So this I sold like crazy, the starter sets. It's a really great way for a customer to start. They get a storage option, they get a cutting board, they get free stuff with it. And then whenever they're ready, they can always upgrade in the future. Okay. So here you're going to tell them, hey, so Auntie, if you get this set today, you can still have the super shears for free. Is that something you'd be interested in getting today? And they'll say, yes, let's do it. And you're like, congrats, you're going to love your Cutco. While I write up that order, let's look at the accessories. Or they're going to say, oh, honey, I don't know. You know, I'm not sure. And you're like, no problem, Auntie. You can totally customize your own set. And even with a custom set, you can break it up over a few months. Okay, let me show you how it works. And so now we're going to look. This is for y'all to know. Cool. And if they ask you, you can tell them, but this is for y'all to know. Easy pay options. Cool. So in order to do 2-pay, they have to have $70 minimum order. Okay. In order to do it into 3 payments, they have to have a minimum of $200 order. And in order for them to do the 5-pay easy pay, has to be a minimum $400 order. Is everyone good? All right. So that's for y'all to know. Screenshot it, write it down, whatever. It's in your manual to remind you, but just so you guys know that. So if they're like, yeah, I think I just want to pick out some pieces, I'm like, all right, awesome. So this is what they're going to see next. So I'm like, all right, awesome. So Auntie, go ahead and click the next slide for me. All right. So you can see all the different like individual tools. All right. And so this is the, pick 5 special. You can pick any 5 knives and get a pair of super shears or a 4-pack of table knives for free. Cool. Which 5 do you like the best? And so now they're going to pick it. So that's what you told them here is, hey, Auntie, you can still customize your own set and I can still get you something for free. Let's make a list of the 5 favorite pieces you see yourself using the most. And they'll tell you, you say, awesome. Can you give me a minute to work on those prices? All right. And guys, this right here, everyone look at this. Add up the prices for the 5, all right, which you're going to have all this in your app, which we're going to show you how to use here soon. But you just put it in the app. It'll show you the amount. Guys, all you have to do is divide by 5. Cool. Divide by 5. And that's going to give you, you know, like that's going to be their monthly payment. Cool. If it's over, maybe it's not over 400, you know, if it's like 350, then you're going to divide by 3. Okay. If it's under 400, like between $200 and $400, you want to divide by 3. So that's how you would figure out like what their deposit would be today. Everyone good? And again, in your app, it'll tell you, but if you just want to tell them quickly, they're like, how much would that be? You know, and you add it up, you're like, okay, it's going to be about, let's see here, it's $350 worth of stuff. It's going to be about $120 for the deposit today if you wanted to do the easy pay on the 3 pay. Is that something you'd feel comfortable with? And they're like, yeah, let's do that. I'm like, cool. So again, figure out the price for them, or you guys can just put it into the app and it'll do it for you and show you what to quote. Okay. And then you're like, all right, awesome. Auntie, I'm ready with the price for you. You can jot this down. The total for your customized set is blank, which breaks down to blank. Now here's what I'm going to tell you guys. When you guys get to customizing options, I want to encourage you, call in. We're going to do this for you so fast, so quick, and help you maximize it. Cool. If you don't reach us, read from here and do what it tells you to do. All right. But call us because we're really good. And there's so many cool bundles and specials. All right. So again, if they don't do the starter set, ask them what 5 pieces they like the most and just call and say, hey, my customer's considering this. All right. And let them know what it is so we can show you guys that. All right. So again, we'll figure out all the prices. We'll tell you the deposit. We'll do all this in your first weekend. But if you don't reach us, you have it here. Just read from here. All right. And then again, Carissa, can you read this final part here, asking for the order?
Yeah.
So if you get these knives today, I have it up here.
Oh, sorry. I like have my split screen open too.
You're good.
Now, if you get these 5 knives today, I can give you a pair of super shears or 4 table knives for free. Which free option would you prefer?
Ooh, scissors. I want the scissors.
Great. Would you like to go ahead and get this custom set today?
Yeah, let's do it. All right. And they're good there. And again, if not, we'll go to buy 3, get 1 free. Or if when you tell them, hey, what are your favorite 5? They're like, oh, I just like 3 or 4. You're like, all right, cool. What are your favorite 3 or 4, right? And just jot them down and call us. If you don't reach us, again, it tells you what to do for that special. And then if they only want 2 knives, it tells you what to do for that. All right. But again, once you get past the starter sets, if they just want to customize, just put it together and give us a call. All right. Last thing. And we're going to role play this. Last thing is reserving your buy now bonus. Okay. Now this is if someone's like, they like Cutco, but they're like, oh, you know, I need to wait or call me later or call me next week. Or, you know, like they're just like, they just have a lot. I'm gonna be like, oh my gosh, Kathy, the roof just caved in, the car broke, this, that, right. And I'm like, no, I totally get it. I'm like, well, Auntie, and I always, my manager taught me to call it preferred customer. I'm like, so we have a program that makes you preferred customer. I'm like, people that own Cutco are preferred customers. They always get deals and discounts. We offer those deals on the first time as a buy now bonus, as an incentive to buy today. But we also know that we catch people off guard, right? So that's why we're letting them know about this. But what this does, we're going to walk through it right now, but just so you understand, by them buying any piece today, cool, even if it's a Father's Day gift for someone, they buy any piece today, it gets them in the system, guys, as a Cutco customer. So that way in the future, they're always entitled to discounts and free stuff. Cool. They're always entitled to discounts and free stuff. So let me show you this real quick, and then we'll roll. So this right here. So Auntie, as long as you get something today, my office will allow me to throw in free stuff when you upgrade later. It's called reserving the buy now bonus. And of course, you'll still be helping me out towards my goals. So let's see how much your favorite piece would be. You know, what's your number 1 favorite piece of Cutco? And they like tell you, you're like, cool. Well, that would only be blank, and you go from there. All right. So super simple. And again, in advanced training, I'll teach you guys more verbiage, but I always tell them like, hey, did you like Cutco? Did you want to get it in the future? Like, yeah, I'm like, awesome. I'm like, what most customers do is they reserve their buy now bonus. And so what this is that as long as you get anything today, even a gift, right, for Father's Day, my office will allow me to throw in free stuff when you upgrade later. It's called reserving your buy now bonus. And of course, it still helps me out towards my goals. But I explain this to them. I go, so it puts you in the system as a customer And that way, whenever you're ready, you can always get the deals and discounts. Cool. Like, which one's your favorite piece? So I can see how much it would be, you know, and then they'll tell you, and you go from there. But just, I want to make sure that you guys always let customers know what they're able to get, that they're able to even buy as little as one thing and get in the system. And that way they're always entitled to stuff later. All right. And so I'll say this last thing when it comes to this, and then we're going to do a little bit of role play. But you've got to take your time dropping down. All right. You have to take your time dropping down. You want to go one step at a time. Like, think about when you're a little kid learning how to go downstairs, right? It's like, hold on to the rail. That's your manual. Like, literally tells you what to do step by step, right? Go one step at a time and don't run down the stairs. You're going to fall and hit your face. All right. Same thing here. Take it one step at a time, take it slow, and just know that you're going to have customers. All right. And some of you guys are going to do a great job with this. And you're going to sell a little bit of everything. You're going to have starter sets, you're going to have homemaker complete sets, you're going to have custom sales, you're going to have galleys, like everything, right? And that's our goal, to help you guys get there, where you're really providing the best service for the customer that day. Because the goal is to help them find what's best for them that day. Cool? Like, that's the goal. Even if it's one piece. I rather sell one knife today than have a promise for a homemaker next week. Everyone heard that? I'd rather sell one knife today than have a promise for a homemaker, because I know that promise is probably not going to happen. And if they get that one knife, a lot of times they forget they ordered it. They get it like 2 weeks later and they're like, oh my God, they start using it and they're like, oh my gosh, best knife ever. And they're like calling you. And they're like, Carissa, I need to buy more. Like, these are amazing. You're like, yeah, I know. So like, that happens. So I rather buy one knife. Now, again, I want to help them, you know, hopefully get into a galley or a starter if they can't do one of the family sets. But worst case, I rather sell a knife today than have a promise for later. So, you know, there's 3 types of reps. There's the reps that sells homemakers or nothing, because the customers go, oh, call me later. My Aunt Diana said, call me next month, honey. I promise I'll get it. I just can't now. She still hasn't bought it 19 years later, by the way. But you'll have the promise for the homemaker later. If they do that, awesome, drop down. Like, if you know they're not going to get it today, even with the sale we gave you, talk them out of it and say, you know what, Auntie, you don't have to do all that right now. Let's show you some smaller stuff, because there's some stuff that's as little as like $90 to $150 today. And you could get a nice set with free scissors. And when you're ready, you could upgrade. And they're like, oh, really? You know, and then I drop down from there, right? The second type of rep sells pieces only, because the customer says to you, hey, Diego, can I just buy pieces? And you're like, oh yeah, you know, and they sell pieces always. That was Artie Bartholomew. He was my piece king. And then I sat and helped him with how to sell sets, and he just crushed it. All right. So guys, people will say that, no problem. Of course, you can pick out pieces and customize your own set. We do have some pre-made sets that are much better value. They're discounted, they have free stuff. Is it cool if I show you some of those first to see if you see something you like? And if not, we'll customize for you. And they're like, of course, honey. And you're like, great. And you show them those. Cool. And that's the third rep that sells a little bit of everything. So again, take your time, have fun with your customers, and just call in. The biggest key here is make sure you call in. Like, they're considering, they're on the bubble, they like, call in. Our best reps, we will literally hear from them 5 to 7 times from an appointment. Okay. And that's actually a good thing here. You might be like, that's kind of weird, and we're probably going to drive you crazy. It's actually the best thing, because we're able to really like spoon feed you, as you know, it might sound childish, but you're brand new, you're little babies, right? You're like graduating today. And so we can really spoon and just give you exactly what you need, tell you exactly what it is. And then you learn and you grow in confidence. And it's so much easier for you to go out and execute. All right.